So there's a great quote on the internet. It's not attributed to anybody, but it says, when a horse greets you with a nicker and regards you with a large liquid eye, the answer to where you want to be has been answered. I have been horse crazy since I was a small child. When I was 5, I actually packed a little hobo bag with some apples, my teddy bear, and some clothesline, and headed out into the night to go west and catch a wild horse, because I thought that I could live the rest of my life happily running through mountains and plains on a wild horse that I had captured myself. When I got returned home after that little adventure, my parents got me riding lessons, and I have been hooked ever since. So this is Jazz. He has been my friend and partner for the last 16 years. And everybody thinks of, when you think of horses, you think of riding as, you know, the glory and the fun, and all of that is true, but a relationship like this takes work like any other relationship, and one of the most important things that you do with your horse is groom your horse, and it serves a lot of purposes. It keeps them clean, it keeps them healthy, and it also gives you a chance to look for things like injuries that may have happened out in the pasture. So today I'm going to show you how to groom a horse. Come on, step up, bud. And I'm actually only going to do half of him in the interest of saving time. So the first tool that I would use would be my curry comb here, and I would start with his face and check to make sure that there's no injuries. And what the curry comb does is it sort of lifts up dust, gets dry skin up, helps you get off crusty dirt like this. This comes from rolling out in the pasture with his buddies, and any loose hair. And you can sort of see, if you go in a circular motion here, that the dust and the dirt sort of rise to the top. And you kind of just want to cover the main areas here and make sure that's all done. Of course, his favorite horses, just like dogs, love to have their bellies rubbed. So I always make sure to get a little bit of belly rub time in for him. The next tool I would use would be a soft brush. And again, I would actually start up front here and brush all that dirt and loose hair off that I got with the curry comb, and work my way back again. And you can see a lot of the loose stuff coming off. And one of the most important things to do when you groom is to check their legs, because a leg injury on a horse is pretty much the worst thing that can happen to them. So you always want to check your horse when you're brushing, make sure there's no swelling, no cuts, no injuries. And you want the body to be clean, because if you're going to put a saddle on here, you don't want any burrs or clumps of dirt or anything that would be underneath the saddle and rubbing while you're riding. And you can see when he cocks his leg like this, this means he's relaxed and he's enjoying the experience. Okay, the next tool I would use would be this mane and tail brush. And his skin's really dry right now, and his hair's really dry because we've had such a dry summer. So I'm just going to spray him down a bit. Some things that will give him a little bit of moisture in his coat and his hair. And we will brush his forelock and his mane and his tail. Keeping his tail clean and free from burrs and untangled is important, because this is his tool to keep flies off him from bothering him when he's outside in the pasture all day. And then the last and one of the most important things you have to do is clean your horse's feet. So you pick up his foot. Sometimes there's rocks or dirt in here. You don't want that, and you just sort of brush it off. Check it, make sure there's no swelling or any kind of infection. There we go. You scrape everything out, and there is a rock rock right there, something that could cause a bruise. And then the very last thing is I take a wet, clean cloth and I kind of wipe his face down, make sure there's no stuff in his eyes, and make sure his nose is clean. And of course, normally I would do this all the way around to the horse, not just on one half. And there we go. So now he is clean and comfortable, and we'll give him a treat because he was a good boy. This is a really important ritual for building relationship with your horse. And for me, it's a really relaxing part of my day. I don't always get to ride, but I do try and get out every day to spend this time with him. And it helps us stay connected, whether or not we get to ride regularly. So I hope you learned something about grooming a horse today.